Let's rewind to January 12, 2026. An Instagram account followed only by her sister suddenly posts a cryptic image of a candle. The caption, "For those who waited." January 12, 7 p.m. Within hours, nearly 700,000 people hit follow, all believing this was the isolated secret account of Danielle from NewJeans. The speculation wasn't just wild fan theory, it was a collective holding of breath, because just 2 weeks prior, on December 29, 2025, her label ADOR under HYBE had shocked the K-pop world by announcing the termination of her exclusive contract. The statement was clinical, citing a breach of trust and uncooperative behavior, but offered no concrete details. Danielle, 1/5 of the globe-conquering NewJeans, had vanished from the official narrative overnight. No statement from her, no leaks from insiders, just a deafening silence. So when that live broadcast notification finally appeared, fans and critics alike flooded in, not just to see her face, but to decode every word, every pause, for clues about the real story behind the corporate legalese. From the first second, the tone was profoundly emotional. Danielle greeted fans and immediately admitted she felt like she might cry. This wasn't a polished PR statement. This was raw, unfiltered vulnerability. She carefully stated she wouldn't discuss the legal specifics, noting there are still many situations being organized, but she framed this live as a necessary reconnection, a direct line to the fans she felt severed from. And then she delivered the line that would instantly be dissected across social media platforms. "I can say this clearly. I thought till the very end to be together with the members, and that truth stays with me. NewJeans will always stay in my heart." This was a direct, stark contradiction to ADOR's portrayal of her as uncooperative. She was painting a picture of someone who fought to stay in the group, not someone who willfully sabotaged it. This fundamental clash of narratives is where the entire controversy ignites. Who was telling the truth? Was this a calculated emotional appeal, or the genuine plea of an idol wronged by her company? To understand the weight of that moment, we have to go back to where the cracks first became public. The scandal, as it's known now, didn't begin with the contract termination. It began months earlier with what seemed like a minor issue, a snack advertisement. In the hyper-controlled world of K-pop, where group image and synchronized activities are paramount, individual endorsements are tightly managed. Rumors began to swirl that Danielle had participated in a snack ad shoot without the company's final approval. ADOR's CEO, Min Hee-jin, later alluded to this in a now infamous press conference, suggesting a member had engaged in activities that could damage the group's unified brand. Online, netizens speculated this was about Danielle. The narrative forming was one of individualism clashing with the collective idol code, a cardinal sin in the industry's old-school playbook. But was this just about a snack ad? Many fans doubted it, sensing a deeper power struggle. Then the plot thickened with rumors of the Omega deal. Leaked gossip from industry insiders and fervent forum threads suggested Danielle, or someone close to her like a family member, had been involved in negotiating a potential solo endorsement deal with the luxury watch brand Omega, bypassing ADOR. This allegation, though never officially confirmed, became a cornerstone of the anti-Danielle argument. It framed her as ambitious to the point of betrayal, secretly plotting a solo path while under a group contract. When HYBE and ADOR later filed a lawsuit against an individual associated with the artist for business interference, widely believed to be connected to Danielle's camp, these rumors gained explosive traction. The public perception split dramatically. One side saw a young artist and her family possibly mismanaging opportunities. The other saw a company manufacturing a scandal to punish an idol for seeking fairer terms, or to make an example of her during known internal tensions between ADOR and its parent company HYBE. This context makes her live stream comments about learning to protect important things and her perspective on family changing land with a devastating impact. Viewers weren't just hearing generic platitudes, they were hearing possible confirmation that the core of this conflict involved familial relationships and a harsh lesson in trust. Was she implying a family member had overstepped, or was she stating she'd learned to protect her family from the company's narrative? The ambiguity itself fueled the controversy. Furthermore, her hopeful statement, "This isn't the end. Bunnies, this is not goodbye," was seen as a direct challenge to ADOR's decision. She was actively contesting the finality of their statement, keeping her story and her career alive in the court of public opinion. The fan and netizen reaction to the live was a battlefield. Supporters calling themselves Donnie defenders rallied around her display of strength. They pointed to her tears and her clear love for NewJeans as proof of her authenticity. They highlighted the irony and suspicion in HYBE ADOR's actions. Why terminate Danielle for alleged insubordination while reinstating other artists like Lee Jin-ho, who had been openly critical of the company? This double standard made the corporate reasoning seem personal and targeted. targeted. Comments flooded Twitter saying they are trying to erase her and framing the fight as a vulnerable artist against a powerful corporate machine. On the flip side, skeptical netizens and fans of the other members launched a forensic analysis of her words. They claimed her emotional delivery felt performative. They latched onto ADOR's official uncooperative language, asking how one fights to the end to stay in a group while allegedly refusing to cooperate with the very company that manages it. They saw her vague allusions as a strategy to gain sympathy without addressing the concrete allegations. The snack ad, the Omega rumors, the lawsuit for business interference. For them, her live was a slick PR move, not a revelation. A typical comment read, "If you really fought to the end, you would have followed the contract. You can't have it both ways." The industry insight here is crucial. K-pop contracts are famously rigid, and trust is a broad term companies can use to enforce compliance. A controversy like this exposes the immense power imbalance. An idol's career, reputation, and emotional well-being can hinge on a company's decision to label them uncooperative. Danielle's live was a rare instance of an idol pushing back on that narrative publicly, while a lawsuit is pending, making it a high-stakes gamble. It shifted her from a passive subject of news headlines to an active participant in her own story. However, it also risks painting her as difficult in an industry that values conformity, potentially affecting her future partnerships whether she wins the legal case or not. So where does this leave us? In a tense stalemate of narratives. We have ADOR's version, a breach of trust, a termination, a lawsuit. We have Danielle's version, a fight to stay, a changed heart, an undying love for her team and fans. The truth likely resides in the murky middle, a complex mix of personal ambition, familial involvement, corporate politics, and contractual misunderstandings. Her emotional live wasn't a conclusion. It was the opening of a new, more public chapter in the controversy. She promised updates when the time is right, meaning this saga is far from over. Every future move, a court ruling, a statement from NewJeans members, a career move by Danielle, will be measured against the poignant, disputed words she shared in that candlelit broadcast. The ultimate impact? It has already fractured a fandom, exposed the brutal mechanics of idol industry relationships, and turned Danielle from a beloved star into the central figure of a modern K-pop mystery, where loyalty, business, and truth are locked in a fierce, unresolved battle.